curious? So are we. Are you funny? We might be too. Why don't you get on in here, pop open a beverage, sit down, put on your headphones, crank up the stereo. Because you are now listening to the podcast for Empathy and Imagination. My name is Aubrey Coutier.
And I am Drew Clark. Welcome to the show. I'd like to acknowledge you for taking the time to listen to the podcast for Empathy and Imagination. If you like this podcast and you would like to see it continue, please consider going to patreon.com/empathy and imagination and making a contribution financially. Another way you can contribute to this beautiful show is you can go to YouTube and just hit that subscribe button or just throw us a thumbs up. Otherwise, if you just want to keep listening for free, that's fine too.
That's fine.
It totally is fine.
It's fine. I enjoy doing this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Is doing it a little bit.
63?
63. Doing it on a different day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Monday night here in Crockett, California.
Should we mention why?
Gradient Studios.
Is there a why onto that one?
It's because our taints are so blasted from bicycling.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right?
That's why.
Is that our excuse? Yeah, bikes.
My taint is blasted.
Bicycling.
Yeah.
Taints, butt bones. We did a long bike trip over the weekend, 80 miles round trip, and a lot of highway riding, a lot of flat ground riding, a lot of chafing of the buttocks.
Yeah. A lot of grinding of the gooch.
Yep, grinding the gooch.
Yeah.
Chafing the buttocks.
Mm-hmm. I kind of felt like my bicycle was slowly sawing me in half. Like if these were my butt cheeks and this was the bike seat, it was slowly like just making its way up my body.
Yeah.
Because I'm big. I weigh a lot. I weigh 280 pounds. I weighed myself today.
So it's like an extra 100 pounds on me.
Yeah, I weigh like
so
100 more pounds
100
than you.
pounds on me.
And it's like, and all that weight's pushing, it's like spreading my butt cheeks apart on that bike seat. And it's just, ay, caramba.
I got to take that sandpaper off my bike seat too.
Yeah. This is a silly joke.
Stop wearing sandpaper underwear.
Yeah.
On these bike trips. So, here we are. Cool.
Let's check in.
You got a check-in for me?
I'll go first. All right. My check-in. Can I get a ding? I just need the ding if I can't
You
hear
have the
the
very resonant ding. Oh, there's also this ding. There we go.
Okay. Let's
check in.
I'm feeling tired, but good.
Yeah.
It was really hard to wake up this morning after doing that crazy ride and then go like, all right, put on your pool man outfit and go start squatting all day and lifting things with your shoulders and then in between that, sit down a bunch on your very tender tushy.
Right.
But I felt good.
Yeah.
Like it hurt me physically, but I was like, I chose to ride my bike. I chose to have this job. I mean, like I'm choosing all this, but it was like, wow,
it's the suffering that you chose.
Pain.
Yeah.
I purposely chose it, and it hurt a lot. But I'm feeling like grateful and loved. I got home, and my wife does a very good job of greeting me. She's like, here's a beer, and put your feet up, and some hot food, and she's like, can I rub your hands? And it's just like, oh, she's great.
Nice.
I love her. And
it's hard to relax. I mean, it's like your body is sapped of energy, but you're so fired up that it's hard. You can't just go to sleep.
No, right. I got home and I'm like shaking from like tiredness, but also I'm wired because I just did this fucking crazy thing to me. Well, to me, it was 80 miles in 2 days plus a bunch of camping gear. So whatever that adds up to is in difficulty land. But yeah, I had a hard time falling asleep. Yeah. And I woke up early too. I was like, what the fuck? And then I worked out all day.
In the middle of the night.
Let's see. So I feel that's good. That's good. I'm checked in.
You're checked in?
Yeah, you check in.
All right, I'm going to check in here. I am also tired. feeling pretty tired. I worked all day, hard to get up. Last night though, when I got home, I stopped by the store on the way home, and man, I just shoveled tons of food.
You did? What'd you get?
Did that fail?
No, we're good.
No, okay. What did I have? I got home and I had like a big gulp of like Gatorade.
Yes.
Fucking thing of chocolate milk. Like 3 donuts. That meal that I have in there, like 3 chicken breasts, fries, and broccoli slaw. I had all that.
Wow.
And then like some chips.
Wow.
And then water. I just couldn't get enough water.
Yeah. You drink a gallon, and I drink this, and then thirsty again.
But I didn't feel full. It wasn't like, I didn't feel bloated. I was just like, all right, got to keep room for more. Shovel more in there.
Fuck yeah.
And woke up in the middle of the night, like had to pee like 5 times.
Yeah.
Just metabolizing all that shit so quickly. So that was good. Had some bad news last week.
Yeah.
One of the kids, one of my childhood skate buddies, was killed in an accident.
Whoa.
It's kind of no sad stories. That's how the family wants it. But
no sad stories. Okay.
Maybe in another episode we'll get into that. But man, that was just out of the blue.
It's an accident.
Yeah, just crossing the street, hit by a car. And
wow.
It's kind of ironic. Skateboarding. He lived the dream. That's the thing. So we grew up in. Just quickly, we'll probably revisit this later, but in a later episode. He was the kid from the suburbs that moved to Cali and turned pro skateboarding.
That happened to him?
Yeah, because he was just dedicated. That's all he fucking did. And so I take comfort in the fact that he was doing exactly what he wanted to do.
Mm.
And he was probably with the people he wanted to be with. What more can you ask for?
Yeah. So you guys were skating friends?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't super close to him, but, we'd stayed over his house, skate. Yeah.
How'd that feel to find out that he had died foolishly?
Pretty stunning.
Stunning?
Stunned.
Yeah.
Just like, huh. And, everyone liked him. No one has a bad word to say about him. Cool guy, funny guy. Brendan Leung.
To Brendan. No sad stories to his family.
Other than that, things are pretty good.
Yeah.
Working a shitload, playing a bunch of music, and bike camping into the mountains. That's my check-in.
Okay, cool. We're checked in.
Cool. What do you got for topics?
What do I got? Well, what do you got?
What do I got? I got tardigrade.
Ooh.
Tardigrades.
Yeah.
You know these little fuckers?
Start us off.
So tardigrades, also known colloquially as water bears or moss piglets.
Keep going.
Why not make it today?
What the
with Teller Brands. Freedom
If maybe we'll not get monetized. Tardigrades, known colloquially as water bears or moss piglets. These things are water-dwelling, 8-legged, segmented micro-animals. Okay? The name tardigrade means slow stepper. These things have been found everywhere. Mountaintops to deep sea and mud volcanoes, from tropical forests to the Antarctic. They're one of the most resilient animals known to man.
Oh, fucking A, that's a crazy
You know
look.
these things? You gotta look at
Our
them.
the audience can see them. Keep going.
Little water bears.
It looks like
Looks like a man in a spacesuit or something.
yeah. It looks like a thing is in a suit, but these things can live in the cold of space and volcanic rocks.
Well, they can survive for a little while in in space. Let's see. Most convenient place to find them is on lichens and mosses. But they're everywhere. Dunes, beaches, soil, marine, freshwater sediments. And They're
There's a
just
fat
crazy.
one here.
Yeah, barrel-shaped bodies, 4 pairs of stubby legs. But what I wanted to talk about, and they're parthenogenic, just the fact that they can live almost anywhere. We keep discovering the parameters of life aren't what we thought they were, right? It used to be, we need light and air and water to have life. Right? Heat, water, air. And then it's like, nah, we just need heat.
Yeah.
So I wonder I wonder what the parameters of life are going to actually be. Maybe there aren't any parameters.
They thought you needed sunlight and stuff, but then people were living off volcanic vents.
Right. Sulfuric vents.
And then like these guys, they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous, pretty much, right? Aren't they like all over us?
Can we tilt the
Yeah. You
this up to get
this?
that?
Oh, sorry. The grind.
Get rid of that.
Sorry about that.
Good.
Got my manly beard here. I
think it's just the mic was hitting the rim.
Oh, that's no fun. Thank you for checking that.
And that's not a euphemism. The mic was hitting the rim.
Hitting
folks.
the rim.
So these guys, maybe there's something, maybe we can do some genetic engineering. Humans and tardigrades combined.
Okay.
Create
I'm
new spacefaring version of Homo sapiens. So these things, scientists have reported tardigrades in hot springs on top of the Himalayas. So that's 20,000 feet up.
Wow.
And also deep sea, 13,000 feet down. Polar regions, equator, underlayers of ice, ocean sediments. It's just crazy. They're most common in moist environments.
What do they breathe?
So like your taint.
No, they're dead if they're there.
Tardigrades are considered to be able to survive even complete global mass extinction events. Some of them can withstand extremely cold temperatures down to negative 458 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty close to absolute zero.
Whoa.
Yeah. Others can withstand...
Are they still animated at that temperature?
I don't know.
I
They
can't.
probably slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Others can withstand extremely hot temperatures up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So I guess there are different varieties of these guys.
But they
For
can't.
several minutes, they can survive that. Pressures 6 times greater than those found in the deepest ocean trenches, ionizing radiation, and the vacuum of outer space.
If they're underwater, what are they breathing? Aubrey, do the tardigrades breathe?
Let me look at the physiology.
Here.
Tubular mouth.
Yeah, we've got a salivary gland, a esophagus, intestine, muscles, egg and ovary, oviduct, anus.
No respiratory organs are found.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Gas exchange able to occur across the entirety of the body. That's fucked. So their skin is like their lungs.
But it looks like a spacesuit.
It does.
They do have an anus, which is good.
3 tubular glands associated with the rectum. We should all be so lucky. Yeah, they have this buccopharyngeal apparatus, swallowing device made of muscles and spines that activates an inner jaw. Wow. They're parthenogenic.
What is that? What does parthenogenic mean again? They're afraid of flowers?
They're sex. They have sex with each other. Eggs hatch after 14 days. But this is... they can go without food or water for more than 30 years.
How long do they live?
Isn't that fucked? It's like...
Yeah, I'm going to fast for a little while, yeah.
It's
How long?
It's like the rock of... It's like a rock. If a rock were an animal. They can go without food or water for more than 30 years, drying out to the point where they are 3% or less water.
We're going to find these in
It's
other
crazy.
planets, aren't we?
You know?
So they bang sexually? Like one climbs on top of another and they do the hump? The Humpty Hump?
Oh.
I thought thought they might have been like just having eggs and stuff asexually, like some.
Fertilization is external. Mating occurs during the molt, with the eggs being laid inside the shed cuticle of the female and then covered with sperm.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So the female sheds a skin layer, and then in that skin layer happens to falleth the eggs.
Yes.
Then the man tardigrade cometh near and
cometh-
whacketh
and
his
cometh
ween.
on, yes.
Yeah, he whacketh on, and then they are. He sticketh his peneth into thy dead skinneth, and sprayeth over thine eggs.
Oh,
and that's the medical term for it, or
it's a medical term. Before the female fully sheds her cuticle, so as it's coming off, as she's molting. That's fucking.
How
horrible.
does nature?
14 days, the eggs hatch.
That's fast.
Yeah.
How does nature teach an animal to masturbate over its eggs? Like,
I think it probably just developed over time.
but think it. The first one. Who's
No.
I don't know. I'm just
It's
thinking.
the power of evolution.
That's
if you
what
have
I'm saying,
evolution,
too.
If you have incremental improvements and all the time in the world, you come up with this kind of shit.
I
And
guess.
you come up with human beings.
Yeah.
Incremental improvements. I mean, that's nature's system, right?
Yeah.
Trying shit out.
Mhm.
Incremental improvements.
Yeah.
You end up with tardigrades and human beings.
Okay.
So
Tardigrades.
the eggs and cysts of tardigrades are so resistant to other dangers that they are carried great distances on the feet of other animals to another location. So their eggs are also very resilient.
Okay, and they can survive in extreme temperatures too.
Yeah.
Shit.
So they're not extremophiles because they can't survive in extreme environments for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
But they can survive for brief periods of time.
So a few minutes they could handle 300 degrees Fahrenheit, but they couldn't like jump into a flame or something.
Yeah, and they can, one of the few species that are capable of suspending their metabolism.
Oh, that's that whole 30-year business.
Yeah, so they can dry up and survive in a dehydrated state for 5 years.
There's no heartbeat or something.
I mean, it's got organs,
What?
right?
Yeah,
It's
but
got- it has eggs, so it's a living thing.
I'm trying to get answers out of you, Aubrey.
It's a living thing, man.
I guess, but what? It has muscles,
It has muscles, has jaw, teeth.
and it eats
Mm-hmm.
like moss.
Yeah. They can remain, and they can dry themselves out to 0.01 normal metabolism. So way slowed down.
Okay.
They can survive a few minutes at 304 degrees Fahrenheit. They can survive 30 years at -4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
They can survive a few days at -325 degrees Fahrenheit, and then only a few minutes at -450 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
They can withstand the extremely low pressure of a vacuum and also very high pressure, more than 1,200 times atmospheric pressure. So you and I would be squished into spaghetti,
Mm-hmm.
or blown apart in space. Because in space, like probably our eye, our
We would
organs, our organs would come out through our eyes and shit. Yeah, but these things are fine. They can survive the vacuum of open space and solar radiation combined
Wow.
for at least 10 days.
Huh.
Which, I mean, how do you kill it?
400 degrees Fahrenheit.
The trade-off is you have to be super tiny. Dehydration, we already covered that. There is one report of leg movement, not considered survival technically, in a 128-year-old specimen. Now that's
What?
yeah.
Leg movement.
Like it shut down its metabolism for 120 years.
But then moved its legs?
Yes.
What if it's a slow thaw? Like, what if it takes 15 years to unthaw? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because maybe tardigrades like have a secret. Maybe they go into a secret dream state when they do that, right?
Yeah, maybe they're all dreaming together and they're
Mhm.
solving problems.
Yeah.
Coming up with ideas.
Yeah.
Hive mind tardigrades.
That makes a lot of sense.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe our brains are just coagulated tardigrades.
You know, I don't know if that's true, but what makes some sense to me is that we might find these on other planets. Right?
That would be crazy. What if they were like the seed organism?
Yes. What if they were? Well, would they still be around if they were the seed organism? It's almost like
I don't know.
maybe they're ancient. Maybe they're just like super fucking old, like way older than humans, and they're gonna be here way after humans are gone.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
They can withstand 1,000 times more radiation than other animals.
Like if they were, if someone accidentally bought them a radioactive necklace that looked good,
Right.
but was radioactive, they could wear it actually and get away with it.
Right. And it says here that they are not susceptible to kryptonite.
Whoa.
Like Superman was.
Whoa.
They're the first known animal to survive in space.
Yeah, that's the only one I know of.
For 10 days.
Was it on a ship or how'd they?
Yeah, they're taken in low Earth orbit on the Photon M3 mission, which carried an astrobiology payload. For 10 days, groups of tardigrades were exposed to the hard vacuum of outer space. After being rehydrated back on Earth, over 68% of the subjects protected from high-energy UV radiation revived within 30 minutes following rehydration. But subsequent mortality was high. So the radiation affected them.
But almost 70% lived.
Yeah.
Those are probably
But they could
just
come.
the old.
They could come back to Earth and be revived.
What if we could like learn from them how to better protect ourselves from radiation in
Yeah,
space?
Grow a skin like they have.
Oh, it sounds like we have a guest.
Sounds like we have a guest.
Can you get the door there?
Stand by.
Stand by. Standing by. Yeah.
Sounds like a very insistent guest.
Yeah, that was a heavy, heavy knock.
Well.
Oh, hey, look, it's Ben.
There we are.
Hey.
Hey,
How's
Ben.
it going? Come on in.
Come on in.
Welcome
the
to the
door.
podcast for empathy and imagination.
Trying to heat the neighborhood? Okay. Tardigrades.
Yeah.
That's my topic.
Okay.
Dig down into it because it's pretty fascinating.
Well,
Water bears.
yeah, I think that they're interesting. I think it's possible that we could learn things from them, like, ways to protect ourselves in a radiation space way, and also maybe longevity and hibernation. That'd be pretty cool.
You could genetically engineer like a separate skin that you could use for your body.
Ooh.
You could wear it to the
So you-
Arctic Circle.
Take a CRISPR pill.
Yeah, right. All right.
Cool. Nice. All right. Well, I do have something else. Let's.
What's going on?
I don't know. What is going on?
I don't know.
Okay. Well. So I saw this video and it struck me negatively. And I you look at YouTube videos, every one of them has thumbs downs. Even if it's like just puppies. It's just like, I don't like these puppies.
Yeah.
Thumbs down. Some. It's usually like 10 to 3 maybe. It's like it'll be 10 thumbs up to 3 thumbs or 2 thumbs down,
Usually
something
there's
like
less,
that.
far
It's
less
way
thumbs
it's
down.
usually just like, why would you thumbs down a news? It's like, who cares? But this
But that's
video,
where you get into interesting videos is when they have way more dislikes.
so
than
this
likes.
one has double the thumbs down. It's a Vice News video with double the thumbs
Okay.
down. I actually
think
thumbed
I
down
know
it too.
what it is.
I'm going to play it now.
Let's hear it.
Okay, here we go.
This is like heaven right now.
Yeah.
Alexis Bromley is from Nebraska. She needed a break from white people.
In Omaha, it's very segregated. It can be very isolating if you're a person of color. It's hard in Nebraska because it's a red state. And so you just don't know who you interact with on a daily basis, if they believe that you're lesser, if you're inferior, and how that in turn can affect me.
She says the current political climate has only made these feelings worse. So she decided to go on a Women of Color healing retreat in Costa Rica.
Hi, such beautiful smiles. Thank you guys so much for coming. My blackness is bold.
My blackness is uninhibited.
My blackness is strength.
The idea is simple. For 10 days, black women come together to eat vegan food, meditate, do yoga.
The breath in is the reminder that we are safe.
And to discuss the frustrations of being black in America.
It's like a mental game all the time, and I'm in these spaces where, constantly getting poked and prodded. Oh, let me touch your hair. Oh, you're really pretty for a black girl.
Black people don't exercise. Black people don't hike. People are automatically gonna have this perception of me before I even open my mouth.
So many people's ideologies are being validated that don't see us as human, that don't see us as people.
This retreat is one of more than a dozen black-owned travel groups, marketing trips specifically to people who look like Alexis. In the few years that most of these companies have been open, more and more clients are calling them up. At least 5 say they've seen a spike in interest coinciding with Trump's election.
The idea of black women reclaiming control over their own mind, body, and spirit is exactly what's needed to survive in a system that constantly tells us that our wellness isn't important. We stopped taking care of ourselves because we were taught, you don't matter.
The retreat is the brainchild of Andrea X, a former Brooklynite turned expat.
I left the United States because I was sick of gentrification, racism, just dealing with being this black woman trying to figure it out there.
It was 2014, and she'd just lost her job as a healthcare facilitator. What started off as a vacation in Costa Rica became her entire new life. She used all of her personal savings to form this retreat.
We needed a safe space that was outside in the United States to hold certain conversations and just to heal. I don't think that we can do that in the United States. I think that we're suffering and suffocating and just dying every single day trying to survive there.
Not every woman can afford to come out to Costa Rica. What can we do for the racism they experience, for women who can't afford to be part of your retreat?
I think that it's important for people in the United States, Black and POC people, to start forming their own spaces there.
Easier said than done. White Americans find themselves in white-only meetings and places all the time, without even trying or noticing. When black people want a break from feeling like a minority, they often have to make an effort. Alexis made the effort, and it cost her $2,222. But for her and several other women, that's a reasonable price to pay for a retreat that bans white people.
Would having white people on this trip ruin it?
I'd run my money back. Yeah, I don't think we will be as open and as honest as we are with the group that we're in now.
Yeah. Do you all feel like you've been stereotyped?
One thing I always got is you're so well spoken, and I don't think people understand how insulting that is. What else would you expect from me?
I'm curious if it's been no different for you since it was the election of President Trump.
We're Black, we knew that racism has been around, but it's a bit more in our face now. It's made me had to pivot my interactions with people and people who actually support Trump. I can't trust you on friendship level, family level, any level if you actually are supporting someone that, is completely racist.
Is some of that anxiety what you feel you need to heal from here?
We're looking for ways to coping mechanisms, and ways to take care of ourselves. Because we're not on the agenda.
Actually, she looks familiar.
Do you feel like you've increasingly lost the ability to see any shot at a relationship with white people?
Every time I have a conversation with them, I just pick up on certain things that they say, whatever. I pick up on the microaggressions, the passive aggressiveness. I pick up on it. So I decided one day to just eliminate white people from my personal life. And ever since then, my life has been way more breezy.
Do you think it's at all possible that the fact that white racism, white people have sort of made you leave the U.S., start your whole life over somewhere else, feel the need to avoid them. It means that they've won.
They didn't push me out the United States, because if that's the case, they could push me out of any of these countries because they are here. They're everywhere. You know, I feel like white people shouldn't even have passports because they've done enough, especially white Americans. Leave them in the United States. They do not need to come here. They do not.
They should be even able to travel.
They need to stay in the United States.
But to a white person who's doing their best to be the best white person they can be.
I have no tips for a white person. My tip to white people is to let us have our space, let us have our room, and go hang out with other white people. We're okay. You know, you've done enough damage.
Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu. This retreat, much to Andrea's dismay, is held at a white-owned resort. That doesn't bother the retreat participants. They haven't cut white people out full-time. But 20 minutes down the road, Andrea and a business partner have quietly invested nearly $100,000 to build up their own private retreat space.
This is where we'll have the workshops.
Is this just like a long con to start building your own Black nation out in the middle of Costa Rica?
It is. It is.
Starting with yoga. Yeah. Next, there's going to be like a mini government.
I don't want to have a mini government, but at the same time, it will be a community of just like Black people living here.
What would you say to someone who's like, you know, it's nice as this sounds like paradise for Black people. In some ways, like it's motivated by the same hate that white people who want to create white nations and white spaces have?
I would say it doesn't have anything to do with them. This is about us healing our community.
Is it practical to create a Black nation in the middle of a jungle? Or to chase all white people off your... Probably not, and most don't want to do it. But the feeling to build her own aren't that different from what drove Alexis has on the U.S.
I don't blame her. I have been places outside of the U.S. where I have felt more at home and more included than I have ever in my community.
Is that an upsetting thing? You know, you say it with like this serene face, but to like go visit a citizen of and feel more at home than you do in your own country.
Yeah, that's reality. Unfortunately, that's the reality of our country.
All right, let's pause there.
Huh.
Okay.
Very provocative.
Yeah. So
you think it's real?
It's real. It is real. And
unfortunately,
my first reaction, I was like, "Oh man, that's an unfortunate display of racism." And then I thought, okay, push the empathy button, and I pushed the empathy button, and my next thought was, I wonder what pushed her to go there. I wonder what she went through. I wonder what.
College.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe lots of crazy dark
That's
shit.
my guess.
I don't know.
That's my guess.
She just went through college and it sucked.
No, she went through college and she learned about... She was indoctrinated with all this PC, politically correct garbage.
Interesting.
And because she's relatively well off, her family is, she's investing almost $100,000 in a place.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, her business.
So that's just my speculation. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
But that's the cynic
well,
in me.
How did it land?
The cynic in me.
When you heard that stuff, how did it land in your reality? What was your reaction?
Disgust.
Disgust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's before I hit the empathy button.
Right. This is just initial reaction. That's part of the show.
First reaction is disgust, and sort of weary cynicism. Like, here we go again. There's another story of someone who hates white people, and every white person's guilty.
Right.
They're all tried and convicted.
Yeah.
Even though they could be an Irish person who has no connection with slave owning.
Yeah.
So yeah, it strikes me as bigoted. I mean, the levels of irony on the quote unquote progressive left are just off the charts. You know, the intolerance of alleged bigots. I mean, that's pretty rich. oh,
the ones that haven't
if you're
said
a
anything.
Republican, then I can't have anything to do with you because you're a bigot. Right? That's the height of irony, because the person being the bigot is the one saying,
I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
Right.
Right?
Because you're a Republican, you're a bad person.
Well, we can all demonstrate that we're not bigots by listening.
Yes. Free speech.
Mm-hmm. Free listening.
That's why we
too.
need free speech. And free listening. You got to be free to say dumb stuff.
Right. And I applaud her right to say whatever she wants to say.
Absolutely.
And I would defend her right to say the dumbest things, because you get to say
I
them.
wish her the best.
You
in her
get to
project.
say them. That's the thing.
Right. You get to say them.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I saw that. I was upset. Thumbs down. It's like, bummer. That's just that's not the direction. And then I go, okay, empathy and imagination.
Mm-hmm.
What must have she have gone through? No idea. And I can't really exactly know what it is to be a woman POC in the USA.
So
but I have a pretty good idea, because we're both human beings, and it's like a huge amount of crossover. So like you will never exactly know what it's like to be a psychotic heavy metal drummer, but you have a pretty good idea.
A lot of crossover.
Yeah, because there's a ton of crossover. That's my thought.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean,
And to say that we can't ever find a basis because we have different color, a different amount of melanin in our skin.
Right.
That's an unfortunate idea. That's just a bad idea.
You got to do this.
You couldn't communicate.
And as with most of these ideas, you got to do the switcheroo, right? So imagine there's a video of someone who was like, just let Asians stay in Japan, China.
Yeah, sick
Like,
of
they
them.
shouldn't even have passports.
Yeah.
So when once you do the switcheroo and you put other things in for white people,
oh, sounds like we have another guest.
You basically immediately discover how preposterous the ideas are.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Hey, welcome.
So,
hey, let's go.
Looks like we're going to be wrapping up here.
Yeah.
Thanks for that video, though.
Yeah,
that
well,
was cool.
we're-
There's
I
a
have
lot
a-
to say there.
There's a little more too. We do
Okay.
have to wrap up soon because we got this whole other engagement here, but we could even throw a microphone in one of these guys' face and make them tell us about their feelings. But that'd be up to them, and they could signify that by a
We'd have to
right
get set
hand
up,
wave
too.
at this point. Right hand
We
wave.
have to get set up.
Okay. So,
You had more on that?
Well,
or just more of the video to play.
no, I'm not going to play any more of the video. That's basically all of it. I think I just want to notice that I was like, oh, I had my initial reaction. And I'm going, okay, that's cool. And then trying to push the empathy button as quickly as I could
Mm-hmm.
to go, all right, I hear.
Yeah. That's part of the
what's going
game
on
is
there.
that you hear something triggering, you got to hit the buzzer as
like,
quickly as you can.
Why are they upset too?
You should make that a game show. A
Yeah.
legit game show.
Who can hit the empathy button the fastest?
Yeah.
And then they have to like shout something out empathetic. Ooh, I like it.
that.
It would be funny, probably. Actually, because people would say really zany stuff. I like that.
All right, cool. Well, it's a short episode.
Mhm.
We got to play some music, people. So
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah, do you guys
with-
sounds good?
I have a garden update. We'll just do the garden update.
Okay.
And that'll be it. And it's in a vlog form. So here you go. So I got food poisoning. Not from the garden food. We had some store-bought food that we had cooked and eaten and made turkey meatloaf. And it didn't go well. And I'm sure you all have experienced cases of both endsies. And this is the day after that. But it's sunny. It's like completely sunny and awesome. The girls are out doing their thing. But there's still like 1 egg a day, maybe. So here we have fun bunny salad time. These greens are just falling out of the ground here, and we just tear them up and toss them in. So, we're formulating a plan, something like we're going to probably cull a few of these older birds. Cull and is look short at for getting kill. A bunch of chicks, and doing a little brooder, and then setting up a poultry net, and then reintroducing to have one whole flock. See how that goes. That's Gradient Gardens Farm Improvements. So that's our garden update, and thank you all for listening to the show. I'd like to thank Aubrey for driving out here and making the show great with all your technical prowess. I'd like to thank Google for inventing the butterfly.
Yes.
I'd also like to see, I think there's a voicemail in there. Might want to check the voicemail.
Let me check the voicemail.
That'd
Let's
be one in
go.
there. I'd like to thank the Auto Germany for inventing farts.
I'd like to once again thank Zenith for inventing the internet in 1993.
Mm-hmm. Thank you to Snapchat for inventing the common rocking chair.
See you next time. Here's some voicemail.
Hello, this is Drew from, and I just wanted to call and let you guys know that your hard work has really helped out all of humanity. In fact, I even sound cooler every moment. So keep up the good work, and remember, just hang on, you're doing great. Oh, and by the way, keep up the good jokes.
I think that was Santa. All right.
Okay, thanks.